This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Race fans, you wanted the best? You've got them. Live on DirtVision.com. Presented by Dry D. The World of Outlaws. NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars. The World of Outlaws. Morton Buildings Late Models. Knoxville Raceway and the Knoxville Nationals. And the Dirt Cars Summer Nationals are all available live. Sprint car and late model fast passes are available now for just $39 a month, with single event subscriptions available as well. From Volusia to Charlotte, Fairbury to Lernerville, Eldora to Macon, and everywhere in between. Dirt Vision has you covered all season long. Every race, live, anywhere, anytime. Don't be left in the dust. Sign up for Dirt Vision today.
Human horsepower, NOS energy drink, high performance energy.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them for abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
Three races are left here in the 2019 World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series, and it is still the 12 car of Alex Bergeron, who is the favorite to win the lion's share of that. But with 3 races left, a handful of drivers are still within grasping reach and could maybe reach him if Alex has trouble. Will he have trouble tonight, or will Alex maybe be able to just about put this championship away here in 2019? Find out in just a couple of moments here on RaceBlock TV and on the iRacing Esports Network.
The road to $100,000 stops at the Kansas Speedway, where we say good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to round number 7 of the 2019 eNASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series. At the Kansas Speedway, the pace car is pulling in. We are getting ready to go green, and Keegan Leahy is already gone.
Laps. I think these guys know it's a long race. You don't want to get too crazy, but as I say that, the Interstate Batteries number 18 of Bobby Blinsky looks up top, making it 3 abreast at the head of the field.
We've got a caution in the middle of the pack. You just saw it at the top of your screen. And Team Dillon Esports number 33 of Ben Nelson. Tough break for him early.
Oh, they're piled up.
And there's Keegan Leahy sideways, and behind them, they're going to stack them up, and looks like we're going to bring out another caution flag. Little damage there to the 20 of Jake Nichols on the caution flag. Will fly in behind them, though. Got one up in the wall. There's the 7 to low, and is that Luza?
The 53 gets demolished in a huge wreck. Definitely gets a bigger piece of that than we saw the 62 get in the previous one, but so that's going to have championship implications, and I believe the 62 is able to get through there. We're going to do. No love lost between Roush and Wood Brothers, it would appear here. 3 abreast across the stripe for your race leader. 700ths of a second between first and third. That trip through, it's going to be the 6 of Zach Novak. He gave his way towards the head of the field, down along the bottom through 1 and 2.
These two battle for what would be the leader off the pit cycle, and it's going to go to the 6 of Zach Novak. Currently on the racetrack, the battle for position number 9. Hold on, and how about this battle for third? These guys are letting it all hang out. The 30 of Blake Reynolds to the inside, Nick Ottinger to the outside, and Michael Guest wants to be a part of this as well.
And turn it into a 3-car scrap. Now across start finish, they will come. The 30 gets to the inside of Nick Ottinger, so Ottinger's going to let Blake Reynolds get that low line. I think it should be Blake's best opportunity to slide up in front of the 47. That's exactly what he's going to do.
But he's not going to be able to get there. Coming out of corner number 4, it's going to be Zach Novak winning at the Kansas Speedway. Garrett Lowe going to come home in position number 2. Blake Reynolds.
The half-mile clay oval in Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania is one of the richest veins of sprint car racing in the United States and is the home of the Pennsylvania Posse. 3 Pennsylvanians find themselves running in this series in 2019. Bobby Sant Jr., Joe Lust, and Braden Eiler. They'll be trying to work to have some home track honors and take victory here today. And honestly, for those 3 drivers, Chase, of any of the racetracks we have on the schedule, this is the one I think those 3 drivers would love most to win at.
Yeah, you wouldn't believe how, proud the people of Pennsylvania are, the Pennsylvania Posse. I mean, it's one of the biggest rivalries in motorsports against the Posse against the Outlaws, and the Outlaws actually head into Pennsylvania country this weekend in real life. So, and the drama's already started online between Danny Dietrich and Kyle Larson today on Twitter. They were kind of talking smack back and forth against each other. But, yeah, keep your eye on those Pennsylvania guys. They'll be driving a little bit harder here tonight than what we normally saw. And also, Braden Eiler, like you said, he's out of Pennsylvania and had a podium finish, so he's got a little momentum on his side coming into tonight.
He had really the best night of his championship just a week back, and it was an absolutely fantastic race. As you take a look at some of the track conditions we have. Qualifying currently underway, and let's take a quick peek at the championship standings. It really is all about Alex Bergeron coming into this event. You see that 556 points. First one to get clear of that 500-point marker. David Heilemann, 64 points back, 492 total. He is still well within reach, and if you look at that, Chase, he's still been incredibly consistent. 7 races down, 7 top 10s, all for your top 4. So no one in your top 4 has finished off out of the top 10 yet this season. Only 1 time out of the top 5 for David, but it's really that wins bracket that's really the big difference maker across everyone. And that's what the likes of David, James, and Joel need to start making up and start getting some things done here towards the end of this series.
Yeah, Alex Bergeron, clearly it seems like just being very consistent has not really helped him, as everybody in that top 5 pretty much has been consistent as well. But like you said, that win column, man, is what's really propelling up to the front. It's a great graphic right there showing everything that's happened so far this season. But one mistake out of that number 12 car of Alex Bergeron tonight, and Heilemann and Edens, maybe even Berkeley, it'd have to be a pretty bad night for Bergeron to get Berkeley back into the mix of things. But Heilemann and Edens, in my opinion, are still right there close enough to pounce on him if something were to happen tonight to that number 12 car of Alex Bergeron. And I think we talked about it kind of off the broadcast a little bit earlier, Randy. It sounds like possibly that 12 car might have had some issues at this place last year in the championship.
Yeah, we know that it's really deep in the championship. Alex is one of the favorites, along with Tim Ryan, to go deep in this series to potentially come away with the win. We were thinking as well, by the way, Alex's practice pace wasn't that great, and his first lap wasn't very good as well. Second lap, he put it on pole, a half a tenth quicker than everyone. So that 12 car doesn't seem keen on having any hiccups here late in the season this time around. And that 12 car seems to be interested most on keeping this momentum up. But qualifying already wrapping up here, and as a pair of Alexes who take your top 2 quick times, Alex Bergeron and Alex Smulders round out your top 2. But as they get ready to start gridding up heat race number 1, let's actually go down your starting grid for heat race number 1. On that front row, the opening heat race, it'll be the Team ABR number 12 of Alex Bergeron alongside the number 3 TTL Esports car of Lewis Hewitt on that front row. Row number 2, you're going to get to one of your Pennsylvania drivers, Braden Eiler and Cole Cabre on that second row. Very action-packed second row. Joel Berkeley and Adam Elby on row number 3, with Dylan Hauser, Blade Witt rounding out the 8-car field. So Alex, I know we talked about a little bit Chase, because we really are sort of in that phase of if Alex has a bad race, just about anyone there in the top 3, top 4 in points can potentially pounce and make something of this championship. And we looked there for about a practice session and a qualifying lap and a half, like we might be seeing a bad Alex Bergeron performance. And then he just goes a half a tenth quicker than everyone and says, I want full points again.
Yeah, well, every time we think we're about to see a bad run out of that 12 car, he miraculously pulls something off and ends up in the top 5. I think it was Volusia where he started way back outside the top 10 and still came home with a 4th place run. So it seems like nothing right now can hinder the performance of that number 12 car. And right now he's got himself in a very good spot to start on the pole of tonight's main event if he's able to pull off this first heat race victory. But it's interesting to see here. This is the first time we've been to the Williams Grove Speedway so far this season. We ran a couple tracks twice, including Volusia and Eldora, but this is the first time where we've seen the big half mile here, the Grove, and it comes late in the season, kind of throwing a horseshoe at these guys. Also, we go to another track we haven't seen all season long, Charlotte, next week. So a couple of new tracks coming up here pretty soon, and it's going to shake things up a little bit.
And really talking about this track specifically, it really is sort of a different track from everything we have on the schedule. The bulk of the racetracks, even the 2 quarter-milers we have, they're pretty bowl-shaped, they're pretty round. Here at Williams Grove, very unique on the schedule. It's very Martinsville-esque in its shape, if anyone's maybe a little bit more of a NASCAR-style fan. It's more of a paperclip-shaped racetrack because of that much tighter corners than these drivers are used to dealing with and much longer straightaways than these drivers are used to dealing with. And that's going to really shake things up for what you have to do to get these winged 410 sprint cars quick around this place.
Yeah, definitely. I think we're going to see a really good 2-groove racetrack here. The toughest part for this place tonight is going to be those straightaways, man. When it really gets slick come feature time, these guys are going to have to be pedaling these race cars down the straightaways to try and keep that power down and make sure they're still going forward. So keep your eye on the straightaways when these guys are going down them now. If they're going side by side, you might see some contact. I mean, these are the longest straightaways we go to all season long with these guys, so it's going to be interesting to watch them try and navigate that and then really set themselves up for a good corner entry. And I think we're going to see, like I said, a nice true groover to get some guys right on those infield tires and get some guys up there close to the wall, especially down in turns 3 and 4. I'm sure we'll get that cushion right up next to that outside guardrail.
So let's see what we can make happen. Can that yellow and black number 12 of Alex Bergeron keep the momentum up? He's been absolutely flawless all season long. And let's see if he can put in the same performance and potentially with a great run tonight, just about put this championship away. Pace truck peels off down on towards pit road. The 12 car will get on it in the middle in 3 and 4. And we are green for racing here in round number 8 of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series. And Alex is out to an early lead. Lewis Hewitt is fighting with Braden Eiler to keep that second spot.
Yeah, Eiler's going to lose a spot to that 71 car of Cole Cabre. Now Eiler's on the bubble for the final transfer spot. Now Eiler back down to the inside as Cabre nearly tags the wall right there in the middle of turns 3 and 4. They go side by side for the transfer spot down the front straightaway. Bergeron's gotten away a little bit as Lewis Hewitt slides high right there. He loses a little bit of ground out of that 12 car Bergeron. It's a 3-car fight for the second spot, and Adam Elby's right behind all 3 of those guys trying to make a move to get into the transfer spot.
Low line in the middle groove seemed to be optimal, but Cole likes the top coming off the corner. The 5 of Braden Eiler, though, he gets a good run off of turn 4 into 1 and 2. The 71 runs the top. Braden tries to throw the slider on that Swindell Speed Lab Esports car, and he's not going to be able to get it done. And it's going to be the Swindell car of Adam Elby who takes that transfer spot away from the 5 of Braden Eiler. So the Kenza Racing Team, number 5, has work to do with 5 laps left to go in heat race number 1.
Yeah, he's probably kicking himself right now. He might have thought that slider would have helped him, gain a little bit of momentum there, but Elby kept that number 74 car wound up on the top side and drove right by him, dang near killed the vinyl right off the right side wing panel of that number 5 car of Eiler, but he's still right there with him as he come down 5 down and 3 to go. Braden Eiler still has a chance to get into that transfer spot, and look how much longer these heat races are, Randy. I feel like by this time we're usually done at a place like Eldora, but this place is so big, 18-second lap times, these are some long races, man. The feature tonight, these guys are going to be having to really have a lot of mental focus to stay, mentally focused in and run 30 clean laps here tonight and finish this thing.
5A gets down underneath Adam Elby. He was alongside him on the top, down the front straightaway, but that inside line not working for the 5 of Braden Eiler. Elby able just to get a little bit of a gap over that 5 car. 2 laps to go this time through as they drive underneath the iRacing starter stand and through 1 and 2 for the 7th time. Most of your gaps have really opened up, but I think one of the big talking points is that Lewis Hewitt has been able to keep Alex Bergeron honest, and Alex has not been able to open up a big gap like we often will see in these heat races. Alex will sometimes dominate these. The gap has stayed steady at half a second. Matter of fact, Lewis Hewitt, a 10th of a second quicker that last trip around the racetrack in the 3 car. Maybe make something of this, the final trip through here on this opening heat race here at Williams Grove. Through 3 and 4 for the final time, and it doesn't look, he is in the wall, is Lewis. So now he's going to have to just about hold on to second, which he will do. It's going to be Bergeron and Hewitt who hold on to your top 2. Cole Gabray slots into 3rd, and Adam Elby will hold on to that 4th spot. But drama there for TTL here early in heat race number 1.
Yeah, you could tell Hewitt really, really wanted to win that one right there. He left it all out there on the racetrack, got into the outside wall in the final corner in turn number 4. He knew that if he won that heat race, man, that automatically lines you up on the pole for tonight's main event. So Alex Bergeron will have the best seat in the house come feature time a little bit later on. But like you said, Lewis Hewitt, Cole Cabray, Adam Elby will be your 4 transfers into that one. Braden Eiler, Dylan Hauser, Blade Witt, and how about Joel Berkeley? 5 laps down, must have found some kind of accident in that one we did not see. So Berkeley, he'll have to make another run through the B main like we've seen him do the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's pretty much a disaster for Joel Berkeley, and I think his situation as well. 116 points out of Alex. Talking about that top 4, I think he's just about out of championship contention at this point. But heat race number 2 is now rolling off, so let's go down your starting grid for this one. You have Alex Smulders and Nick Cooper on that front row with James Edens and Ryan Mayer on row number 2, Joe Quinn and Britton Roxbury on row 3 with Nelson Webster and Anthony Lepresto on that 4th row. The 52 of Edens, he's going to want to be able to get as many points out of this as he can here, because this is going to, he's in championship situation here. He's got to reel in Alex, and I think he has to win this heat race in order to really keep pace with Heileman and Alex.
Yeah, the problem with James, though, is he didn't qualify in the top 6, which gets you points in the championship, and Alex already won his heat race. So Alex, quick time, a heat race win. Even if James wins this, he's still going to be losing points this early on in the night. So he obviously needs to win to kind of cushion that blow that he's already taken so far in this one. But he's got some fast guys in front of him, man. Alex Smulders qualified the best he's qualified all season long. Nick Cooper, a guy in the top 5 in the point standings, he wants to try and win this thing and line up on the outside of the front row tonight. So James Edens, it's not going to be any cakewalk here.
Kinzer Racing Sim Team number 211. We just saw his teammate in the 5 car have a very entertaining opening heat race. Let's see if this 211 can do a little bit better in heat race number 2 as he goes second quick in qualifying and will have that pole position. But it's going to be a lot of charging names in this one, most notably Nick Cooper and James Edens. We've seen both of those drivers drive through some of these races in the past. iRacing safety truck on towards pit road, the 211 in command of the field, and he's going to get on at about the same point Alex did. We are green in heat race number 2.
A great start there for the 52 car. James Edens already clears the second place starter of Nick Cooper. Now Edens to the inside. Whoa, that was a close call right there. Nearly got into the side of the 211 of Alex Smulders, and now he's all over him down the back straightaway. Nick Cooper in tow as the 211 goes down to the bottom. Alex Bergeron was running there all race long in the last heat race, and Edens runs the middle right there. Looks like it worked for him a little bit, but we're going to see these guys start to fan out all over the place. The top 3 now go to the top of the racetrack. Ryan Mayer with a slider tries to get in front of Nick Cooper, but he's not going to clear it. He slops back into the 4th spot.
Look at the fight behind. You have the 421 of Roxbury and Joe Quinn. They're fighting for that 5th spot. It's going to 421 is going to spin up into the outside wall. His heat race is going to be done and over with. 52 Edens. Slide job at the head of the field. Can't quite get clear, and Smulders will be able to hold on down the back straightaway.
Yeah, look at James Edens. He knows he has to win this thing if he wants a good start in tonight's main event. He's all over the 211 car of Alex Smulders. Smulders trying to pick up his first heat race win of the year. Whoa, the 35 of Nick Cooper behind him. Tags the front straightaway wall. He's fishtailing it all the way down the front straightaway, gathers it back in, and hangs on to the 3rd spot. But the battle for the lead is the one we want to watch for, is James Edens. He's trying to track down. He's sizing up the 211, seeing where he's a little bit weaker than him. He pulls up to the back bumper off turn number 4 and down the front straightaway. Does he throw the slider to turn number 1?
Not going to go for it just yet, and I think that's smart. He needs to get a little bit closer. You can't throw a Hail Mary slider and have it stick just yet. That top groove of the racetrack just a little bit too fast. through 3 and 4 as we approach 3/4 difference in this heat race. 52, big run off the 4. Alex very slow. I think this might be James's opportunity. In towards 1 and 2, down to the bottom of the racetrack, slides right up to the top. Can Alex drive it back underneath James? Down the back straightaway, they're going to be wheel to wheel. In towards turns 3 and 4, Alex able to just about run the slider line, but can't get it up onto the racetrack. The 52 of James Edens wrestles the lead away from the 211 of Alex Smulders, and now the 35 of Nick Cooper. He wants to pick up second.
Yeah, Nick Cooper, I was about to say, he's tracking these guys down while they're sliding each other. Cooper makes a little bit of a mistake right there in turns 1 and 2, loses some ground, but Alex Smolder's still right there with James Edens. But how about that textbook maneuver down there in 1 and 2, slid up in front of the 211 car, tagged the cushion just right, and got a good run down the back straightaway to maintain the lead. James Edens flexing his muscles here in heat race number 2 as he starts to pull away now from Smulders, who's under fire from the 35 of Nick Cooper. Cooper looks to the outside. He might have the spot. Coming down to the checkered flag, Cooper's got it, but James Edens will win heat race number 2. Nick Cooper second, Alex Smulders third, and Ryan Mayer in the 4th spot.
We said he needed to win heat race number 2, and the 52 of James Edens managed to do it, and he will start alongside Alex Bergeron in the main event a little bit later on tonight. Nick Cooper winds up second, James Edens in third, with Ryan Mayer, or excuse me, let me take that back. James Edens, Nick Cooper, Alex Smulders rounds out your top 3, with Ryan Mayer in 4th, with Joe Quinn, Anthony Lopresto, Nelson Webster, and Britton Roxbury rounding out an 8-car field. I think that's the most that might be the most entertaining fight for a win we've seen in a while here in these heat races. We had, of course, the 3 abreast at Eldora, I think 3 weeks back, but we have another championship contender here in heat race number 3. So let's go down the starting grid for this one. Austin Semmelman qualifies 3rd quick tonight. Let's see if he can finally put together a good night of racing. He's going to start on the front row here of this 3rd heat race, but the 49 of David Heileman, he's going to start on the outside of this front row. Of course, comes into this race 2nd in points. I think he needs to come away with a win in this heat race as well. Tim Ryan and Steve Renaud on that 2nd row, starting this one out. Cam Dance, Rusty Kruger on row number 3, with Wayne Williams and Cole Newhoff rounding out this 8-car field. The 18 and the 49 both, I think, have big priorities here, or big, let's say they have big goals with tonight. I know Austin Semmelman wants to finally get another good finish here in 2019, Chase, but that 49 of Heileman, he's racing for $10,000 to go into the champions.
Yeah, absolutely. Heileman has to win this heat race here. If he wins it, he'll start inside row number 2. We know that 49 car is not afraid to pound the fence, and he's going to be doing that here, I'm sure, when he starts on the outside of the front row here. But Heileman, the Heilemaniac, I think he's going to be putting on a show for us. But you got to watch that 98 car. Tim Ryan starting inside of row number 2, a 2-time winner this season, last year's champion. Obviously, he's nowhere near the championship fight for this one, but he doesn't want to. He's trying to pick up some more wins, man. Every win you get in this series, $300 in your back pocket, and Ryan's already accumulated $600. He's the latest feature winner. He won last week. What were we at? Eldora Speedway, and Tim Ryan absolutely dominated the main event there. So keep your eye on that 98 car as well, as there's quite a few big names in this one.
You know what's amazing to me is Tim Ryan, the questionable start to this championship he had, and he comes out here and he's already running 10th in points. That's what some good performances can get you here in this championship, and not a long time. You know, it feels like just the first couple races we were talking about him just barely scraping into features, and now he finds his way top 10 of the points and trying. I think he has an outside chance of getting towards that top 5.
Yeah, if he keeps winning, if he keeps his winning ways, I think he can maybe sneak into the top 5. But Tim, we talked to him, after last week's win and interviewed him, and he said he's not really worried about the championship anymore. He's just going out here and trying to win feature events. So here we go. The pace truck pulls off. We're ready for heat race number 3 here at the Grove. Austin Semmelman, David Heileman down to the turn number 4 line, and we are green off turn number 4 for heat race number 3.
Austin Semmelman gets on it early, and his 2nd place starter, David Heileman. Those two, once upon a time, were teammates as they work through 1 and 2. The Napa car, David Heileman, will already start working that 18 of Austin Semmelman. Look at Tim Ryan behind, though. He has his hands full with that plain black number 115 of Steve Renaud. Look at Cam Dance on the cushion, trying to get around the 115.
Yeah, the cushion right now in 3 and 4 has a lot of speed. David Heileman just showed it right there as he pulled up to the back bumper down the front straightaway of Austin Semmelman. Now Heileman, let's see what he does right here down into turns 3 and 4. Goes back to the top side as the 18 runs the slider line. We'll see if the 49 has a big run down the front straightaway. He does. He closes it now to 2 car lengths. It looks like he might look for the slider. No, thinks better of it. He'll try and get a little bit closer like we saw James Edens do in the last heat race. He's about as close as he can get right now. About a car length separate your top 2. Down in the turns 3 and 4, but the 18 will block the slider line. Heileman will have a big run this time down the front straightaway once again.
And look at Tim Ryan, he gets aggressive. Austin, he hits it up though, running the slider line in towards 1 and 2. 49 and David Heilman slides it up the racetrack. Can Austin drive it back down to the bottom? Answer's gonna be sort of. He'll be wheel to wheel in towards 3 and 4, but David has the preferred line. Tim Ryan through the slider on the 49 of David Heilman as well, through corners number 3 and 4. And Austin Selman is actually gonna be able to wrestle that race lead right back away from the 49.
What a racetrack we have right now. We're only halfway through this one, 5 down and 3 to go. The 49 of Highland has to get it back up on his high horse here and try and track down the 18 of Selman. Here comes the 98 of Ryan. Nearly makes contact right there in turns 3 and 4. And the 18's into the wall. The 49 to the outside. They're side by side entering turn number 1. Selman now slides up across the racetrack right in front of Heilman. Heilman turns it back down to the inside. Great battle for the lead down the back straightaway. And Tim Ryan's right there if one of these two makes a mistake. Now Heilman runs the bottom right there. That's going to cost him though. The 18 car on the outside will take the lead at the line. No, Heilman's got it.
Bottom groove maybe coming in. The top may have gone away. 2 to go. The 49 slides up to the cushion. Look at the run Austin Selman gets entering the back straightaway. They're going to be wheel to wheel in towards 3 and 4. The 98 of Tim Ryan slides along the outside, and he might just about get clear at David Heilman. No, the drive off the bottom is too good. Side by side for the white flag in towards 1 and 2 for the final time. The 49 of Heilman rolls that bottom line. The 18 of Selman able to hold on up top. The 98 car slots into that 3rd spot. I think Tim may be too far back, but can the run off the bottom be good enough for David this time? Answer is going to be no, and Austin Selman is going to win heat race number 3.
Wow, that was a great battle once again. 2 heat races in a row. This racetrack, man, is absolutely incredible. You can run the slider line, you can run the top, and if you're really good and you're easy on that throttle pedal, you can really roll yourself some bottom down there in both ends of the racetrack. And my goodness, what a race we had there. We had 3 different leaders, I think, in that one. Austin Selman takes the win. David Heilman in 2nd, Tim Ryan. And how about Rusty Kruger come from 6th up to the 4th spot? He'll make his 2nd main event in a row.
We had a big incident on that last couple of laps as well with the 6th car of Cameron Dance. We were too busy yelling and shouting about the fight for the race lead to notice that. So a couple drivers getting in some trouble there towards the end of that 3rd heat race. Heat race number 4 coming at you, and let's go down the starting grid for this one. It's going to be the 39 of Chase Cabrera, race winner from a couple races back here on pole with Bobby Sant Jr. on the outside of that front row. Vinny Sansone and Logan Clampett on road number 2 with Joe Lusk and Kenneth Dake Jr. on road number 3. And the Motorsports number 23 of Justin Thomas will round out this 7-car field. I love Williams Grove, Chase. It's always been one of my favorite racetracks. I've always loved the design. I've always been a fan of these big paperclip style racetracks. And it's been putting on an amazing show again here tonight.
Yeah, that's what, you get a big, long straightaway racetrack like this with these tight corners and a place that we haven't seen all season long. These guys don't really have a whole lot of laps here, so nobody really knew what to expect coming into the night, I don't think. And right now, I don't even know what the best line to run is right now, man. It seems like the guy that's won the race has been on a different line, or the one the heat race so far has ran a different line every time. So we saw Bergeron down the bottom. We just saw Austin Selman sliding all over the place. And I don't remember who won the 2nd heat race. I think James Edens. But we've just seen guys all over the racetrack so far. And, man, it's kind of probably confusing some of these guys. I mean, what's it going to look like here towards the main event? I mean, this thing's going to get a lot slicker. The straightaways are going to get slicker. These guys are going to be fishtailing all over the place. So make sure you stay tuned, man. This thing's going to be really good here towards the end of the night.
Yeah, it definitely is, and we did it last week. We're going to give you guys another opportunity to win a couple of pit passes to any World of Outlaws event of your choice. We will do that a little bit later on in the night, but be sure to stick around and make sure that you're getting interactive on the chats and paying attention on the stream so that you can get your opportunity to win a couple of pit passes to an event of your choosing. But Chase Cabrera in the 39, he's going to pick the throttle up in the center in 3 and 4, and we are green for the final heat race of the night. And here comes Vinny Sansone trying to get a run down there on the bottom for 2nd.
Yeah, good start for that PlanViewSales.com number 39 car. Chase Cabrera is already pulling away. They're side by side for the 2nd spot. How about the 20 car? Joe Lusk, he started back in the 5th or 7th spot. I can't remember. He's challenging for 2nd off turn 4. That 20 car on the bottom of the racetrack has got some speed down there.
Reignition Esport number 20 of Joe Lusk, and he's going to get into Vinny Sansone. They both run the bottom, and Lusk was wanting to send it, and they're going to be nearly 3 abreast fighting for that 2nd spot. Bobby Sant Jr., one of the Pennsylvania drivers, he's up top. We already saw Braden Eiler have a good run up there. Can maybe Bobby make something of this in heat race number 4?
We've got a 4-car scrap for make it a 5-car scrap for the second spot. They're running 3 lines through 1 and 2. One guy in the middle, one guy on the bottom, one guy on the top. And it's going to be the top that prevails with Bobby Sant Jr. But Vinny Sansone back down to the inside. He runs the inside wall and turns 3 and 4. And Sansone takes over the second spot now.
Look at the run for Bobby Sant Jr. He gets a big run. We got one car who spun in the background. That's Kenneth Dake Jr. That's going to basically be the end of his heat race as Vinny Sansone is going to take that second spot away from Bobby Sant Jr. Logan Clampett now. He's fighting with the 23 and Justin Thomas. They're wheel to wheel. Joe Lusk just lurking in the background as they come off of turn 4 and down the front straightaway. They're going to see the cross flags there as they work in towards 1 and 2. Logan Clampett on the top. Justin Thomas runs that bottom line.
Don't look now, but Vinny Sansone's got the big fishing pole out right now. He is reeling in Chase Cabray. Last time by, Sansone was 2/10 quicker. He's now closed it down to 4 car lengths. On your leader, the 39 of Cabray continues to work the top side, but Sansone catfishing on the bottom, trying to track him down with still 2 laps to go. If Sansone continued these lap times, he will catch the 39 of Cabray by the end of this thing. Coming down for 2 laps to go. He's all over him down the front straightaway.
The 80 car was watching what the 49 of David Heilman was doing, because that's exactly what we're seeing out of that number 80 car. Chase Cabray up top, still liking the cushion. The gap has evened out a little bit. Vinny hasn't been able to catch Chase quite as much in the last couple trips around the racetrack, but look at that, Cabray. He tries the bottom, can't quite run it smooth. Sansone is close. White flag at the iRacing starter stand this time. In towards 1 and 2. Can Sansone bring the gap in? Chase goes right up back to the top. Does not like the bottom after trying it through 3 and 4. Down the back straightaway and in towards 3 and 4 for the final time. Sansone closes on the bottom, but is not going to be close enough. Chase Cabray will win heat race number 4, and Justin Thomas in the background will make a late race move on Logan Clampett. He will transfer here in heat race number 4.
And Thomas started dead last on the field, comes home 4th. A great run for the Mode Motorsports number 23 car. He'll grab the final transfer spot. In front of him, it was Bobby Sant Jr. in 131, Vinny Sansone in 80, and Chase Cabray in the 39 car will pick up the victory in that one. Logan Clampett, Joe Lusk, who I thought was going to pull it off there. He had a great start to that one, ends up in the 6th spot, and Kenneth Dake Jr. in car number 47 will round out the field. Remember, your top 4 drivers, those are the final 4 to make the main event. Besides the 2 B mains that we're having coming up next, we'll have the final 4 drivers transfer into the back of the main event to have a 20-car field for 30 laps around the Williams Go Speedway. How's the lineup looking here for the first B main there, Randy?
Well, before we get down into that, we talked about the Pennsylvania drivers wanting to have some good racing here tonight, some good results. I think this is the first time that we've had a pair of them both transfer here. Bobby Sant Jr. and Braden Eiler both race their way into the main event straight through the heat race. Joe Lusk will have to do it through the LCQ. But let's go down your starting grid here for our first LCQ. It's going to be actually Braden Eiler on that front row with Wayne Williams starting on the outside of it. Dylan Hauser and Cam Dance on row number 2 with Blade Witt and Steve Renaud on row 3, and Joel Berkeley rounding this one out. Berkeley's really the big one. I'd say if he doesn't transfer here today, Chase, that's pretty much championship hopes crushed.
Yeah, absolutely. Berkeley has to put on a show here, and I think he will. I mean, we've seen it every single week, it seems like. He's came from the back of one of these B mains, and he starts at the back of the feature and somehow makes his way into the top 10. But Braden Eiler, man, he was good in the heat race, had a little bit of a problem there, which hindered him from making the main event, but he's going to be tough in this one. So I think Eiler will win this one, but second spot right now is completely up for grabs with Dylan Hauser's in this one. We got Blade Witt, who's made a couple of main events this year, and obviously the 9 car of Joel Berkeley we talked about coming from the back. Cam Dance, yeah, he's also a guy that makes a lot of main events with this series as well. So a couple guys that are hungry to make this main and have a good run here tonight. This second spot's up for grabs for anybody here.
Well, let's see what we can make happen here with the 5 car of Braden Eiler. And they're going to do one more observation lap here around this half-mile racetrack. And now the question is, Chase, we've seen three lines being run in that previous heat race. I don't think we're going to see 4 lines here at Williams Grove. The corners are a little bit too tight. I
don't know, man. It gets pretty wide down there. You could probably fit 8 cars down there if you wanted to. We could do an 8-car, parade lap possibly, but I mean, you could run 8 cars down there, but really it seems like 3 grooves is what we've seen so far. You see that stuff in the middle of the racetrack that's gotten thrown up there from the bottom. That's got a lot of grip right there that we've seen some of these guys using. So I think we're gonna have 3 grooves of racing right here. And also what I've noticed is some of these guys going down the straightaways, look at the top of the racetrack on the straightaways. It's black slick right there, and these guys have been running really a groove down on the straightaways to try and keep their tires down in that grippy stuff. So that was an interesting thing that I noticed there as we got the pace truck pulling off. Braden Eiler, Wayne Williams, 2 cars to the back of the main event. We're green for 12 laps in this one.
And Braden Eiler is going to get to the throttle early. Dylan Hauser will quickly take that second transfer spot away. I was wrong. They fan out 4 wide through 1 and 2, and it's going to be the 7 of Blade Witt. What a start from him. He goes from 7th and noses in towards third. Contact with Cam Dance, and Dance is going to be in the wall in the 6th car. That's going to be his race dashed and over with, but there's still 3 abreast to the tail of the field.
Yeah, Joel Berkeley looks to the inside of Blade Witt. The 9 car will run the bottom side of the racetrack, but Witt's right there. They nearly collide right there. Oh, more contact. Wayne Williams gets into Steven Renati, who gets upside down. And now we've only got 5 drivers left competing for 2 spots. Right now it's Braden Eiler and Dylan Hauser, the top 2 that would make it into the night's main event.
The tail of this field has been locked 3 wide the whole way. Berkeley, Witt, and now on the outside it's going to be Williams, who tries to just about make that work. Berkeley able to get around Witt. They swap positions a little bit. They'll actually fan out 2 abreast as they run through 3 and 4. Berkeley's just about able to get clear as Eiler and Hauser are starting to run away from this group, and I take that back. Williams was able to hold on to that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Wayne Williams had a good run there off the top side at turn number 3 and 4. He hangs on to the 3rd spot, but while they're battling, contact right there. Berkeley nearly into the inside wall. How did he hang on to that thing? But he's going to, lose a little bit of ground there. And it looks like Hauser might have tagged the wall right there on turn 4. And here comes Wayne Williams up to the back bumper into turn number 1.
Suddenly racing for a transfer spot, and that little contact between the 4 and the 9 could be very, very important. Wheel to wheel now between Williams and Berkeley in towards 3 and 4. Berkeley's not going to get loose. They're on the inside this time through, nearly half distance in LCQ number 1, and Berkeley takes that 3rd spot away. Wants to start pressuring his teammate Hauser, but Wayne Williams takes it right back down to the bottom in towards 1 and 2. He's 2 loose though, 2 sideways, and he's going to lose that spot just for a moment. Now Berkeley will try to rein in his teammate of Dylan Hauser.
Yeah, that's what Berkeley needed. He needed to get clear. Wow, look at the bottom of the racetrack right there. The 9 car absolutely rolled it from 5 car lengths back, pulled up next to the 2 car of Dylan Hauser. And it looks like the 9 might have it right here off turn 2, and Berkeley to second from dead last.
Bottom of the racetrack coming in and really coming in strong. So the 9 of Joe Berkeley takes the transfer spot away from his teammate. It's going to be 5 laps remaining in LCQ number 1 here as they work in towards 1 and 2. And now Blade Witt, he wants to work on the 2 of Dylan Hauser to try to pressure Joe Berkeley. 7 car runs the bottom. He can't hook it up quite like Joel can though.
Yeah, Joel Berkeley's really got that thing dialed in right now. He must have the wing pulled back quite a bit to be able to get that thing set off down there in the bottom of the racetrack. But your leader right now, Braden Eiler's checked out in this one. He's got a big lead over that 9 car of Joel Berkeley. Now Berkeley steps it back up to the top of the racetrack. It might be a little bit safer down there to run that top side. You don't have any worries about hitting the infield wall or those tires down there. Now he drops it back down in 3 and 4. So maybe the line right now is bottom 3 and 4, top 1 and 2. Berkeley kind of testing the waters out right now. He's got the transfer spot, maybe just trying to make a little mental note of some of these lines he can maybe use in his run up to the front of the feature later on tonight.
Could very well be, and especially when you have this sort of gap to the drivers behind, you can really afford to move around the racetrack and see what the different lines are doing. Witt and Hauser, they're still fighting for this. I don't think they're going to have any hope of transferring unless Braden or Joel make some sort of mistake, but with 2 laps to go, they're going to do everything they can to put on a good show for all of us. Blade Witt down the back straightaway to the inside of Dylan Hauser. Hauser trying to get that move done as they're going to see the white flag this time through, but Dylan just can't quite hook the top up, but Blade makes a mistake on the bottom. Dylan can't quite keep the momentum up though. So last trip around the racetrack, these guys will fight for 3rd as out in front, Braden Eiler's already turning in towards turns number 3 and 4. He's going to see the checkers off of 3 and 4 this time, but who will win this race for 3rd between Blade Witt and Dylan Hauser? It looks like it's going to be Hauser who just about gets it done. He'll be happy that he at least got that 3rd spot, but Eiler and Berkeley are the 2 that are going to be celebrating as they will be going to your main event in just a little bit here tonight.
Yeah, great run by those 2 up front and a good battle going on for that 3rd spot, but it's just 1 spot short. Hauser ends up 3rd, Blade Witt in the 4th spot, Wayne Williams 5th, and then Steven Renat and Cam Dance both end up 11 laps down as they got upside down there early in that one. B-main number 2 now come onto the racetrack, and this will be the final 2 spots in tonight's 20-car field.
In LCQ number 2, let's go down your starting grid. Joe Quinn and Logan Clampett, both of those drivers put some pace in their heat race, and they start near the head of the second last chance qualifier. Anthony LaPresto and Joe Lusk on road number 2, Nelson Webster and Kenneth Dake Jr. on road number 3, with Britton Roxbury and Cole Newhoffen rounding out the 8-car field here in LCQ number 2. And I'd say there's 4 cars here that were in positions, Chase, that they were really racing hard in their heat races for that for a transfer spot. Think about Joe Quinn, Logan Clampett, they were very much a part of those fights. Lepresto was, Lusk was. There's not a lot of cars in this grid, especially compared to the previous race, that just weren't a part of even having any hope of transferring out of their heat race.
Yeah, the guy I'm going to be watching, though, in this one's the guy starting inside the third row, that 15 car, Nelson Webster for Tony Stewart Racing. Webster was really good last week at Eldora Speedway. Was running in the top 5 there for a while. I'm not sure where he exactly ended up, but that 15 car, man, in real life, Donnie Schatz gets around this place pretty well. I'm not sure if they share any setup notes or not, but keep around that 15 car to be making some moves here towards the front of this field. Obviously, he's got a couple of tough competitors in front of him, but Webster's ran up front on multiple different occasions this year, and I'd be expecting to see him make one of these transfer spots here by the end of this thing.
And talking about this top groove of the racetrack a little bit, Chase, one of the difficult things about Williams Grove, and you can see it as we look in the cameras, is how easy it is to slide up into that outside wall off of 2 and off of 4, but particularly coming off of 4. And that upper groove is really slicked off, and we're starting to see people have trouble and just about run up and just tap that outside wall as they come off the top side of the racetrack, exiting the corners. We've seen a lot of people move down the racetrack, and it's gotten harder and harder to hook up that top line.
Yeah, that's one of the most unique things about this racetrack, man. It's 12 cars wide in 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, but you get down the straightaway and it's maybe five cars wide. So if you got guys 3 wide coming off the corner, man, they better sort it out quickly, because they're going to be banging wheels, banging Nerf bars, bouncing off each other down the straightaways, trying to figure it out. Because I mean, just look how narrow these straightaways are, man. And if you get into the or one of the outside or inside walls, it's going to be like ping pong down the backstretch, bouncing off everything.
We've seen a bit of contact and bouncing around like that already, but let's see what we can have happen. And LCQ number 2, Logan Clampett tries to jump it, and Joe Quinn's going to punish him. He picks it up right after Clampett hops on the brakes, and look at what over-aggression can sometimes get you, as Logan Clampett is going to go from 2nd, and he's at risk of falling all the way back to 5th or 6th.
Yeah, here comes that 15 car of Webster I was talking about. Moves into the 3rd spot, nearly runs into Lepresto, almost gets hit from behind by Joe Lusk. But Nelson Webster's making moves right now. He's trying to look 3 wide down the front straightaway. These guys are going at it already for 2nd. 3 wide, 3 lanes being used for the 2nd spot. As your leader starts to run away with this one, Joe Quinn in car number 90 likes what he's seeing behind him as he pulls away.
You see the 44 Logan Clampett able to hook up that top side, but they're 3 abreast behind him. Lusk trying to run the middle. One of the Pennsylvania drivers trying to transfer into this feature show here tonight through 1 and 2. Clampett holds the transfer spot, and Quinn has not really been able to run a huge distance away from these guys. One mistake in the Ironman Motorsports number 90 is there.
Oh, the 44 car, Logan Clampett pulled up to the left rear tire right there, Joe Quinn, and nearly had a little challenge for him. Now he falls back in line. The battle for the lead and 2nd is still up for grabs between at least 5 drivers, make it 6, as Kenneth Dake Jr. right now in the 6th spot's really not too far behind. If these guys start battling, as Anthony Lepresto tags the back straightaway wall, and Kenneth Dake Jr. makes the move on him and takes over that 5th spot as they continue to go at it for the 2nd spot. Joe Lusk and Logan Clampett, Joe Quinn right there as well. The battle for the lead heating up in this one.
Fight for the lead, still tight as Clampett's going to run that bottom line. Lusk will try to run the top. That's the fight for the transfer spot, and arguably the one that's a little bit more important. Lusk is able to hook it up, and he's going to take that 2nd transfer spot away. Now he'll work on the Ironman Motorsports number 90 and Joe Quinn, who's trying to keep a slight buffer, but Logan is going to fight right back to the 20 of Joe Lusk as they work down the back straightaway, and Clampett moves back into the transfer spot.
Yeah, Clampett's in an average Joe sandwich right now. He's got Joe Quinn in front of him, Joe Lusk behind him. Now Clampett hooks up the bottom side of the racetrack right off turn number 4. He'll take the lead into turn number 1. Clampett now to the point as the 90 car Quinn slips back, and Lusk is right there. If the 90 car makes some kind of mistake, he's right behind him. 1 car length separate the 2 Joes. And for the final transfer spot, still up for grabs as Clampett runs the bottom of the racetrack and pulls away by about 3 car lengths now over the 90 car of Joe Quinn. But don't look now, Nelson Webster right there. He might be 10 car lengths behind these guys, but if he gets 1 or 2 good corners, he might close right back in on him.
1 or 2 good corners, and maybe these guys getting a little bit over aggressive. The 2 Joes, they'll run each other hard in towards 3 and 4. The 15 of Nelson Webster closes up just a little bit. Joe Quinn, though, is going to hold off that assault from Joe Lusk behind. There's going to be 4 laps remaining here in LCQ number 2. Logan Clampett has not been able to stretch away a huge gap, but a slight mistake from Joe Lusk is going to give Joe Quinn just a little bit of breathing room here with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, Lusk, I didn't see what happened right there, but he falls now by about 3 or 4 car lengths behind that 90 car. That might solidify that spot for Joe Quinn, though. We've still got 2 laps to go in this one, and it's crazy to think how much these races have changed a little bit. We saw in the last one, Braden Eiler won by a full straightaway almost, running the top of the racetrack. Everybody in this one is through the middle and around the bottom. So it just goes to show how quickly these racetracks change as Joe Lusk once again starts to mount a charge on the 90 car of Joe Quinn for the final transfer spot with Nelson Webster in tow.
Down the back straightaway for the penultimate time. White flag getting ready to wave. The fight for the transfer spot is picking up. Joe Quinn and Joe Lusk and Nelson Webster, 3 cars, all trying to make the main event. And you know that they're going to be racing really, really hard. Like we said, Joe Lusk, he wants to be sort of the virtual Pennsylvania posse here and be able to make the main event. Joe, though, will actually clear in that transfer spot. Checkered flag off of 3 and 4 this time. Logan Clampet's out and clear. Joe Quinn tries to hook up the top side of the racetrack. Won't quite be able to do it. And Joe Lusk will hold on, but they're going to be nose to tail at the stripe. About a 1/10 of a second in it between them, between Joe Lusk and Joe Quinn. Nelson Webster will be right there and on the outside looking in as well with Kenneth Dake Jr., Anthony Lepresto, Britton Roxbury, and Cole Newhoffen rounding out the 8-car field there from LCQ number 2. As these drivers go out for the pre-feature warm-up, we're going to take a short break here on RaceSpot TV and on the iRacing Esports Network. Do not go away, as it's going to be a fantastic 30-lap feature. And before we get to that feature, we'll be giving you a way to win a pair of pit passes to any World of Outlaws event of your choice. Be sure to stay tuned, as we'll be right back.
History. This May in Music City, the fairgrounds goes dirt. Sprint cars sideways. A Nashville performance like never before. Engines roar, where every split second counts. The World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars take over the Nashville Fairgrounds for one weekend only. Friday and Saturday, May 31st and June 1st. It's the greatest show on dirt. Reserve your seats today at worldofoutlaws.com.
Well, we did it last week, and we're going to do it this week as well. Before we go feature racing, I'll give you a moment. Get logged in on Twitter and get ready to get typing. All you have to do to win a pair of pit passes to any World of Outlaws event of your choosing is get on Twitter and put something in there that contains hashtag WOO Sprint and at iRacing. So whatever you decide you want to post, get in there, get active, and you will win a pair of pit passes to any World of Outlaws event of your choosing. That's a great prize for anyone chasing. I know you're someone who has spent more than a little bit of time on the infield of a racetrack. It really is a unique viewing experience for these sort of wing sprint cars. And even when I was up in Paris when the World of Outlaws hooked me up, got to see the non-wing USAC CRA action as well. It is a ton of fun watching from the infield.
Yeah, if you've never been to a sprint car race, wing or non-wing, man, you really need to, get there and check it out for sure. And with this promotion that the Outlaws are putting on and NOS Energy Drink and Dirt Vision, this is your chance, man. Go on Twitter and tweet using the hashtag WooSprint and tag iRacing in it, man. You might be able to, go to any racetrack that you want for an Outlaw race and maybe choose one that's close to you so you don't have to, buy a plane ticket or go to the one that you want to see the most. Maybe go to Knoxville, or maybe, I wonder if the Knoxville Nationals is included in that. That would be one I would choose for sure.
Yeah, the Knoxville Nationals would be a good one. Potentially even the World of Outlaws World Finals that happens at the end of the year. All sorts of great events that happen with the World of Outlaws. And of course, the other best thing watching from the infield, you don't need glasses and you don't need mouth protectors for all the dirt that gets kicked up in the air at a dirt sprint car event. It can get hard to watch at times when you got all that stuff in the air, but it's part of the experience. And it is a ton of fun. The 3-minute warm-up for these drivers before the feature event comes to a close. And let's go down your 20-car starting field for the 30-lap main event. It's going to be 2 of your championship contenders out front. Alex Bergeron and James Edens on this front row. James is 3rd in points. Needs to have a good event here over the 12 to keep himself in contention. Austin Selman and Chase Cabray will make up row 2. Remember, the 49 of David Heileman could have been starting where that 18 is. He'll be a little bit further back in the field. Lewis Hewitt and Nick Cooper on row number 3. And the 49 of David Heileman, we talked about him ending up 2nd in his heat race. He'll roll off 7th with Vinny Sansone on his outside in 8th. Cole Cabray and Alex Smulders going to be starting on row number 5. Both of these drivers look quick in their heats, with Tim Ryan and Bobby Sant Jr. on row number 6, Ryan Mayer and Adam Elby on row number 7, Rusty Kruger and Justin Thomas on row number 8, Braden Eiler and Logan Clampett on row 9, with Joel Berkeley and Joe Luss rounding out the 10-car field. And Chase, our man of Rusty Kruger, finally managed to make a main event.
This is the second one in a row, Randy. He's been on. Yeah, he made it last week, man. He's on fire lately, making his first 2 main events of the season. So he's just had to get a little warmed up, I think. That 10 car is starting to come around to him.
So field is going to pace out now, and you're going to see a couple cars go up to the top groove of the racetrack and maybe try to pack that upper groove in a little bit. I believe that's Nick Cooper in the 35. I see running up there. Maybe we'll see that 35 car centered around the outside. Remember, we've seen that top groove kind of fall away, and that's going to be a big difference, Chase, for a lot of these guys who would have been, they're just now really seeing the racetrack for the first time in the better part of half an hour. And man, that surface has changed a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex Bergeron, he was in that first heat race, and he ran the bottom the entire way. And we saw, like in those last couple of B mains and maybe the last heat race as well, that the bottom was the place to be as well. But we saw Braden Eiler won that 1B main on the top of the racetrack, so it's really hard to say what the groove is right now. But I'm telling you, if these guys go side by side down these straightaways, we're going to see a lot of contact on the straightaways here tonight, I think. I wouldn't be surprised to see one of these yellows or a caution come out, for an incident that happens on the straightaways, because it's just so black slick on the top groove right there. So it's going to be interesting to watch these guys come off side by side off the corners and try and make something happen. So here we go, man. This is going to be a good one. I think this is, the one track on the schedule that everybody didn't really have a lot of experience at, since we only run it once, throughout the season. So here we go. The pace truck pulls off. Alex Bergeron and James Edens on your front row, 30 laps. This will be the longest race of the season as far as the lap times go. Off turn number 4, we are green.
James Edens is able to hold on to that second spot, but for how long? The 18 of Austin Semmelman. He's going to slide the bottom. He won't quite be able to get clear of James Edens. He's going to hold on to that second spot. And the 52 is now going to go hunting on the 12 car. He gets a run off the corner as those two are actually going to go to the top side of the racetrack, what seems like the harder line to run at the moment. 18 of Austin Selman, he's around the middle. They're fanning out nearly 3 and 4 wide in the mid-pack, but we stay green through lap number 1. And the 52 of Edens goes right back down to the bottom. And he's going to pull side by side with Alex Bergeron. What a run for the 52, and he's going to take the lead in towards 3 and 4.
A good battle already shaping up at the front of this field as Edens tags the cushion off turn number 4, but Bergeron too strong on the bottom right there. They swap lines down in turns 3 and 4, and Bergeron's back out front. He's going to run it back down to the bottom as Edens runs the middle of the racetrack. The 18 is Selman and the 39 of Cabrera right there, but James Edens will lead down the back straightaway in the Swindell Speed Lab Esports. Number 52, he's sideways, nearly tags the wall right there, but does not lose a whole lot of ground to Alex. And off turn number 4, they're side by side at the start-finish line.
Gap is pretty much nothing as they go across the stripe. It favored Alex Bergeron, though. Edens works the switch back off of turn 2. Can he get the run? Answer's going to be no. He's going to lift out of it. We've had a couple of other entertaining battles as well. The 49 of David Heileman fighting with the 80 of Vinny Sansone. I've seen Tim Ryan involved in that fight as well. Caution's going to fly. Have a car around somewhere on the racetrack. Not sure who it is. Maybe have gone up and over the wall. But early caution here at Williams Grove.
I believe it was Nick Cooper.
The 35, yep, the 211 of Alex Smolders got into him. He actually quickly got it back going, so just around quick enough to throw that caution flag and then immediately cleared it up. So we're not going to have any cars out of the event following that incident. So the 35 of Nick Cooper will lose a handful of spots, but beyond that, should be okay, because that looked like a pretty clean rear contact just with the Nerf bar. Oh man, Chase, I love the way this racetrack has come in. This looks like it's just, this may be the race of the season if they can keep it green.
Yeah, man, I'm a big track prep guy. I like to know, I like to really pay attention to that stuff and how guys prep the track in real life and here on iRacing. And right now, I could not tell you what the best groove is. It seems like there's a huge cushion that you can really rock it off of turn number 4. But if you run the bottom just right, keep that left rear down there in the grip, it seems like it's good as well. So, and we saw James Edens, he took the lead on one of those laps through the middle of the racetrack in 1 and 2. So a lot of grooves for these guys to play around with. But right now, it seems like your top 2 are the class of the field as they pulled away on that run a little bit from that 3rd place car of Austin Selman.
And what I love about this, about that upper groove, Chase, is that it's not, we've seen a couple of tracks as far as this season where it's very top dominant and it's, I don't want to say easy to run, but it's just clear. It's just not the most difficult line to run out there on the racetrack. Here, this top line, it is mighty slick there as you come off turn 4 and turn 2, and it's really only about a rear tire wide. So if you get it even just a little bit wrong, you're in the wall and you're losing a ton of ground.
Yeah, man, I would really love to see some of the telemetry of these guys' throttle inputs going down the straightaway, because I know there's no way they're going wide open when it's that slick up there. So it's going to be interesting to see. I want to maybe go back after this race and watch some of the replays and listen to their throttle inputs and see what these guys are doing, because, I mean, these guys are the best in the world, man. They know what they're doing. That's the reason they're in this World Championship. So they're going to put on a show for us. They already have for the first 5 or 6 laps so far, as the pace truck pulls off once again. The final, 23 laps to go in this one. It's going to be a long main event. Alex Bergeron leads him back down, and James Edens gets a pretty good start right there and hangs with him down the front straightaway.
Alex gets a better one, though. He's going to open up a slight gap. The 18 of Austin Sellman is going to go to work on the 52 of James Edens through 1 and 2. James is going to be able to just about get clear. And look at the 39 of Chase Cabray. He's able to get around Lewis Hewitt and stay clear of him. And he's going to start trying to reel in the 18 and the 52 as well. So off of turn 4, it's going to be Edens in second for the moment. But Austin I take that back. I thought he might have had a run up top. Didn't quite get it done. And see the 98 of Tim Ryan and Vinny Sansone. They're throwing haymakers down there in towards 1.
Yeah, they're battling for about the 7th spot right now. And while they're battling, they're losing a ton of ground. The top 6 drivers have pulled away big time from the 7th place car, Tim Ryan, now, as David Heilemann started way back, and I think the 7th spot. He has now tracked down your top 5 drivers, and he's working on the back bumper now. Lewis Hewitt and Chase Cabray. Here comes Heilemann down to the inside of Cabray, battling for the 6th spot. We got to see that Heilemaniac driver number 49 car. He takes it down the back straightaway. Heilemann now moves into the 5th position, and now he works on the 3 car. Hewitt's into the wall. Turn number 4. That might give that spot away to David Heilemann.
Can the 49 car get there? Yes, he can. And that's going to put him into the 3rd spot now, as Austin Sellman is trying to fight for, 4th spot for the 49 of David Heilemann. So 3 of your top 4 in the points currently are in the top 4. All 3 of your top 3 in the points currently run in the top 4. Bergeron leads, Edens in second, and Heilemann has worked his way up into the 4th spot, trying to chase down Austin Sellman. Big fighter, though, from Lewis Hewitt. David Heilemann still has his hands full.
Man, the bottom of the track, it seems like that's the place to be right now. Last time by, Bergeron was 3/10 faster than James Edens. Edens only ran the top down in 3 and 4, so that just goes to show you how much better the bottom of the racetrack is right now. But does that 12 car make some kind of mistake here? You see all those infield tires that line up along the grass on the bottom of the racetrack and that infield wall. I've ran a lot of laps around this place on the iRacing.com service, and man, oh man, have I had my fair share of times where I've tagged that inside wall. And could that 12 car, could he do that same thing? And the yellow's out. Yellow's going to be out here on lap number, looks like 13. Cole Cabray's gone around.
So Cole Cabray has issues out there on the racetrack. What happened with Cole? He was wrestling with Alex Smulders, and well, you talked about how bumpy that front straightaway is. Cole didn't get a great run. Actually, take the back. Alex tried to chop Cole's nose coming off turn 1, and Cole kept his foot in it, and then Alex got loose. I think that's a situation where I think Cole needed to really check up there with how out of shape that 211 car was in front of him. But, you know, these drivers are aggressive, and they're not going to give anyone an inch, because you know that with as close as this championship is, if you give anyone an inch, you're likely dropping a bunch of spots. But the 71 car, he goes tumbling, and I think that's likely going to be, he's out there rolling, so maybe that car is all right. But we need to watch that 49 car of David Heilemann. He's not been the quickest car on the racetrack. The 12 of Bergeron has been slightly quicker, but he's been consistently about 2 to 3 tenths quicker than Austin Stemmelman, right up until he gets right on the rear bumper of that 18 car, and then he gets checked up, just can't quite get around him. David's setting Austin up for something here, I think, shortly, and I don't think it's going to be long until we see that Napa car make a move on Austin.
Yeah, and if there's going to be one guy that makes some moves and tries something different, it's going to be that 49 car of David Heilemann. I would not be, I would not be surprised to see him go into the top of the racetrack here on this restart and try it out, because everyone has really migrated down to the bottom. It seems like there's a lot of grip down there, and it's just it's a lot more easier to run than that top side of the racetrack. You can really get yourself in trouble on that guardrail, like we saw Lewis Hewitt do a couple of times tonight. So, but I think Heilemann, he knows he needs to run in the top 3 to kind of keep that points gap close between himself and Alex Bergeron. So watch for the 49 car on this restart to try something different and go to the top of the racetrack.
And the 52 of James Edens has to get this restart perfect. We've seen the 12 car of Alex Bergeron. Part of the reason he's able to win these races is no one is quite able to react quick enough and keep him honest. That's part of the reason he's able to open up such a huge gap. So the 52 of Edens, he needs to be aggressive on this restart and cannot let Alex open up 6 or 7 car lengths before they ever get to start finish. James, though, can he work the reaction? Where does Alex go on this restart? Waiting. It's a decent restart from James. He might just about be able to keep Alex honest. Coming off of 2 as we are back to green flag racing here on lap 17.
There goes the 18 of Austin Selman up to the top of the racetrack in the first set of corners, but it's not going to be good enough for him as James Edens hangs on to the second spot. A big run, though, down the straightaway for Selman. Looks like there might be something up there. As there goes David Heilemann now, the 49 car, to the top of the racetrack behind Selman now. It looks like there might be some speed up there as they both keep pace with that 52 car, James Edens.
That's where the 49 car was running, and he's going to stay up there on the top side of the racetrack. Gets actually a little bit over the cushion and into the softer stuff, and he's going to be able to hook it up. Look at the run for the 49 car. Just can't quite pull up alongside the 18 of Austin Selman. Just about able to get down to the bottom after hooking the top side through 3 and 4. Wheel to wheel just about between the 18 and the 49 as they work in towards 1 and 2. Can the 49 throw that slider? No. The 52 is kind of in the way, but still now running the bottom is David Heilemann.
Here comes Selman now. He's got that top side hooked up pretty well down there in 1 and 2. He's the only guy running up there. Now David Heilemann has to get on the brakes now, taps him, goes down to the bottom of the racetrack, has a good run now on the 18 car of Austin Selman, and Heilemann at the line has the third spot. There goes James Edens now back up to the top side. Slider from Heilemann. He does not clear it, but the 49 car now in the second, or make that the third spot. Your top 3 in the points now up in the podium positions.
Top 3 all in the top 3, and they run in the order that they are in the points.
Oh, there goes the 49.
Tries to hook up the bottom. James Edens can't quite get a good run off of 4, so Heilemann, he may be running for second here. To the top, though, goes David once again. Edens is slowed through 1 and 2. David's going to get a run up the middle, and he's going to make his attempt here on the second spot. He's going to get it, so the 49 of Heilemann up 5 positions here, and with 10 laps to go, does he have enough to potentially reel in the 12 of Bergeron, who's basically out ahead of the field by a country mile? It's a 2-second gap for the 12, and Heilemann actually brought that gap down while passing Edens. So can the 49 of Heilemann, can he maybe somehow pull off a miracle win here this season?
If he does, this will be like the Mighty Ducks winning whatever the biggest hockey thing is in the entire world, because the 49 car is so far behind right now. We'll check the lap times. That time by 2/10 faster was the 49 of David Heilemann. He's tracking him down. I talked about it before this last green flag. The 49 car had to try something different, and he's doing it right now. Up on the top of the racetrack, right rear tire on the guardrail. We'll check the lap times this time by. We'll see if he's faster this time. He runs a 19.8, and Bergeron with a 19.8 as well. Now Bergeron to the top of the racetrack, and Heilemann down to the bottom. So Bergeron trying something different here towards the latter stage of this one.
Leader, they're trading lap times and trading lines here and towards the closing laps of this race. It's going to be 6 laps to go as they get ready to cross start finish. Gap now 1.6 seconds. Timing will update, and it's going to be 1.8. So Alex tries the top groove of the racetrack, and he finds something as he immediately goes 2/10 quicker than David Heilemann. So falling backwards is David Heilemann. Not what you want to see here in the closing stages, as the 49 still goes right back down to the bottom through 3 and 4. 5 laps to go.
Yeah, Heilemann really had to try something different there. Now the 12 car knows what the line is. He knows that it's much faster. Heilemann, he's just got to run it better than him pretty much at this point. With only 4 laps to go now, Heilemann's got to have the run of his career right now, as that last time by Bergeron, like you said, a 1.8-second gap, as James Edens has fallen way back behind these guys. He's another full second behind David Heilemann. It's, man, this is the largest gap we've seen so far in one of these championship races. Bergeron with a huge lead over Heilemann, and he's got a huge gap to him, behind him to the 52 car of Edens, and another big gap back to 4th. The best battle on the racetrack is for that 4th spot between Selman and Hewitt.
Those guys are really going after it too, aren't they? The 18 right up along the bottom, as we've seen that upper groove really come in through this final feature race here tonight. 3 laps remaining in the feature here as Bergeron 1.4-second lead. Heilemann's gone to work, and he reeled in another 3/10 that last trip through. Is this maybe not done yet? 2 laps to go for the 49 of David Heilemann. Can he bring that gap down once again? He is catching. You see that gap visibly closer, half a second quicker for the Napa Auto Parts car number 49. Can David Heilemann get there? Can he make a miracle move here? He's not closing much down the back straightaway. The Heilemaniac in towards 3 and 4, going to hook up that cushion and work on down the front straightaway. White flag, he's closer still. Gap going to be down to about 0.5 of a second, I think. 0.6, excuse me. Through 1 and 2, final trip around the racetrack. Can David make something of this, or can Alex hang on? He's right there. Got to throw the Hail Mary right now, but Alex is going to cut it off. Through corners number 3 and 4 for the final time. Alex is going to be able to hold on, but David Heilemann, what a drive for him. He's going to roll his way right up to 0.5 of a second off the rear bumper of Alex Bergeron in the closing moments. What an amazing couple laps there from Heilemann. He finds that pace 2 laps earlier. I think David wins this race.
I think if David started 2 more positions ahead on the original starting grid, he wins this race, like you said, by a country mile. That 49 car was absolutely unbelievable on the cushion right there. He was a full half-second faster 2 laps in a row than the 12 car Bergeron. If this race was 2 laps longer, Heilman would have had a challenge for him right there. My goodness, what a drive by him. And that's why I talk about it every week, man. He's one of my favorite guys in this championship field, as he unfortunately is going to lose some more points to him in the championship, but people will remember that 49 car was here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. He's really the one who put on the show there at the head of the field and kept things interesting. But let's go down your full post-race results. Alex Bergeron takes his 4th win here, I believe, in 2019, and it's been that's half the races he has won. David Heilman, though, from 7th on the grid, runs his way up into 2nd, with James Edens finishing in 3rd. Top 3 in the points, all 1, 2, 3. Austin Selman had a very respectable showing as well. He comes home 4th tonight with Lewis Hewitt, rounding out your top 5. Tim Ryan comes home in 6th. He started 11th. Great run from him as well. Chase Cabray in 7th. Justin Thomas, we didn't even talk about that Mode Motorsports car. He drives from 16th up to 8th. Alex Smulders ends up 9th, and Joel Berkeley.
There's Berkeley again.
19th all the way.
Are you kidding me?
So we got a
every
handful
time
of cars. Yeah, Joel Berkeley is really being very consistent and starting deep in these features and finishing up at the head of the field. Vinny Sansone in 11th, Braden Eiler in 12th. Logan Clampett picks up 5 as well. He goes from 18th to 13th. Bobby Sant Jr. in 14th, and Adam Elby rounds out your top 15. Joe Lusk, Rusty Kruger, Ryan Mayer, Nick Cooper, and Cole Cabray round out the 20-car finishing field here tonight. And we're not going to go to any post-race ads. We're going to go directly to interviews and that 12-car of Alex Bergeron. Alex, Williams Grove is one of these racetracks that a lot of these drivers, I think, we're kind of looking at with a little bit of let's say they were skeptical. A lot of people aren't huge fans of this racetrack. I know that they like the bigger, kind of more circular style racetracks like Volusia and Eldora. But man, this racetrack was racy tonight. Talk me through your night.
Yeah, it was very racy. The top got faster there and at midpoint of the race. We had a good night overall. We qualified fast time and won their heat race. And we started the race pretty good. We had a good battle with James Edens there. It was awesome to run there with him. And we pulled away there from the bottom, and then at the end I was trying to run the top, and Alman was just catching me so fast. So I just took it easy and just made sure to finish the race. So we're in battle for a championship, so we got to finish our races. And it was if it would have been 5 more laps or something like that, he probably would have passed me. But I just went easy and I didn't push the car.
And I always forget you go second. Go ahead.
And Alex, I talked about it quite a few times on the broadcast tonight. I saw a lot of guys really running that second lane down from the wall on the straightaways tonight. It seemed like that might have been the hardest part of the racetrack was the straightaways, man. It was black slick, it was bumpy, and we saw a lot of guys making contact with other drivers going down the straightaways, man. Tell us how tough it was, how much throttle you were trying to use going down the straightaways here tonight.
Oh, you definitely got to get in the tacky parts. On the straightaway there, right beside the wall, it's just very slick. So you got to get down the middle, and the car is, it feels weird to be down the middle of the racetrack. And if you're in the bottom lane, you're already down the bottom, so that makes it easier. But when you're running top and you got to go back down there, and it's tough, man. It takes skills, and it's tough. Throttle control is part of this racetrack.
And we have 2 more races of this championship coming up, Alex. The final race of the season will be at Knoxville. That's, of course, going to be a track everyone's familiar with. But Charlotte is going to be the 9th round of the championship next week. I know that's going to be a track similar to this one that a lot of the drivers aren't experienced with. I know that it doesn't tend to get run as often. Like I said, a lot of people prefer the likes of the Volusias and the Eldoras that we have on the sim. But what do you think we're going to see at Charlotte, as we know that racing can be difficult there in these winged sprint cars?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be difficult. I'm thinking it's going to be topside pretty much. I think it's going to be dominant up there. We could see some, special stuff. We could possibly run the bottom, but I think it's going to be topside, and just going to get ready for a topside and, hope for a good qualifying.
Thanks for joining us, Alex, and congratulations on another win this season, as you're going to open up the margin in the points and maybe just about be able to put this thing away going in towards next week. But before then, who gets it done for that number 12 ABR car?
Well, first off, thank you to all my partners, Newbie.com, Snack Shop Bikinis, BK Designs, CSI Chalks, Max McLaughlin Racing, Meyer Inc., Team ABR for your team, and Jason Nygaard. We work hard, and we get good results, and it motivates us to do better every week, and we just got another win tonight, so it's very special for us. Thank you to everyone for supporting me. My dad, my girlfriend for supporting me as well. Pete Gully for watching, Nia Coleman, Paul Kinney, all the guys for supporting me, and you guys for broadcasting, iRacing for putting this up with World of Outlaws. It's a pleasure to race in the series.
Nice job, man.
Well, there he is, Alex Bergeron. He comes away with another win and is just about, he's not there yet, but he's just about going to be able to say that he has this championship won. If he puts in a good effort next week, I think that's pretty much going to be that for everyone. But one driver who worked his tail off to make sure that didn't happen was the 49 of David Heilemann. David, you needed 2 more laps, and I think we would have been talking to you first instead of Alex.
Yeah, like I said, I had already given up on the championship, and so I kind of, once I got ahead of James, I was like, well, I'm not catching Alex, and I kind of just saved the car. I went to the bottom a couple times, just make sure I didn't hit the wall and screw up my good finish.
Wait. You said you gave up on the championship, but you're saving the car. That's not the attitude of someone giving up on the championship. You don't save the car, you go for that win, baby.
It is so weird. Like, every other night, from last year to the start of this year, I thought about this damn championship. Like, as soon as it started, that all went away for some reason. But yeah, I only have one battle I'm concerned with, and that's with James Egan's for best American sprint car driver. You can't put a price on that, okay?
And I'm telling you right now, David, you have made me a fan. I have never met you in my entire life, but next time I see you, make sure there is some kind of iRacing 49 car t-shirt that I could wear, because that was a show. I'm looking at the comments on the stream, and there are people. Mine.
There's autograph lines.
I bet. And I could see the line for your t-shirt trailer from here, and I'm in California, man. That was, an incredible drive. You clicked off a half second on one of those closing laps, and there was people in the comments, man, just going crazy. I think you're about to have more fans than that 12 car of Alex Bergeron.
Hey, man, Hylemaniacs, the dozens and dozens of us, we're getting up there. But yeah, we're always moving forward. It's just I can never start in the right place. James did what he was supposed to do. From third, he won his heat race and had a really good battle with Austin in mine, and would have been able to start up in third, but just weren't able to do that.
What do you think you guys at that Casey Kane Racing Sim team have to try to find in qualifying? What is it you're missing? You think it's something in the set, or is it just the person there between the front and rear tires that's just not quite getting it done in
it's definitely me. On my second lap, I think I would have been good for second or third. It was like a 5-something, but I just tapped the wall out of the corner. But even 7th, where I did qualify, I'll take that at this track because this was really supposed to be my weakness in these last 3 races. Really confident about Charlotte and Knoxville, so I was, like I said, I was super happy and content on getting second, and then I was chasing them down. It seems like no matter what happens, I end these nights disappointed.
Well, David, you said last week that you were finally happy that someone was taking notice of you in this championship, and Chase mentioned that all the people in the chat were going crazy. He didn't mention that himself and me were going crazy those last couple of laps. So thank you for putting on such an amazing show of us really thinking you had a chance of going up there and getting Alex in the closing laps. But before we let you go, who gets it done for that number 49 Napa Auto Parts Casey Kane Racing Sim Team sprint car?
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm just gonna say Alex did a smart move of protecting the bottom last corner there, because you can throw a dive bomb
I called it
super deep in 3 and 4 here. And it's thanks to KKR Sim Team guys, Napa Auto Parts, Wicked Energy Gum, Wicked Cushion, World of Outlaws, NOS Energy for doing this. Hope I didn't disappoint too many Hylemaniacs out there. Hope we gained a couple and put on a good show for the fans.
Nice job, man. I don't think you lost any. You definitely gained a couple, but Randy, that, in my opinion, this was probably the in my opinion, one of the most exciting races all season long is now we have James Eden's third place finisher here tonight. James, man, it just seemed like you were so good early, man. You guys are put on a battle for the ages for the first 4 or 5 laps, and then that first caution came out, and it seemed like after that your car kind of fell off the pace, and you couldn't really find the line. It seemed like the line was just changing every time. It was the bottom there for a long time, then it was the top, and then you passed Alex Bergeron for the lead in the middle. I mean, this place was super racy tonight.
Yeah, early on there was a lot of moisture still on the track. We could run pretty much anywhere. I think we just found the middle there in 1 and 2. That let us get by them there. But I think just at the end of the night we were just way too loose. That's why we were so good early on. It just about halfway there, it just completely went away from us. So.
You have Charlotte coming up next week, and you guys at the Swindell Speed Labs Esports Group, one of the biggest teams on the entire grid. I think it's you guys and TTL that are about even in terms of car numbers. You guys, I think, maybe a little bit bigger. But what kind of work's going to be going in towards next week? 'Cause that's a very unique racetrack on the schedule compared to all the rest. And I know it can be really difficult in these wing cars to really race and stay side by side. What kind of work do you think is going to have to go in to likely qualify well? Because I think it's going to be a race where you have to qualify up front to finish well.
Yeah, we're just going to have to put in a lot of effort there into qualifying so we can start up front. That place normally ends up 30 laps around the cushion there, and whoever can hang on and not get into the fence normally, you normally finish about where you start. So it'll be a challenge for sure.
Tonight was pretty interesting. The top 3 drivers, all the top 3 in the point standings. It just really goes to show how tough this series is to win. I think if Tim had a better start to the season, we'd be talking about him as well. But, just tell us how tough this series really is, man. I mean, you guys race hard every single Monday night and put on a good show for these fans.
Yeah, I mean, it's extremely tough. These are the best in the business. There's a reason. You see the same 5 guys running up front. And, it's hard to win races, especially with guys like Alex and Tim. They're always on top of their game. The other thing is you gotta play the little games right with the feel and all that stuff. So how many cautions there are gonna be, and just gotta hit it right.
Well, thanks for joining us, James, and congratulations on another podium finish. Good luck to you in the next couple rounds. And before we let you go, who gets it done for that Swindell Speed Labs Esports number 52?
I just got to thank, Speed Lab, and then Bell Helmets and Wiser Organics, and everyone else that supports this and puts it on for us. It's always fun.
There he is, 52 of James Eden's finishes in the 3rd spot tonight, and I think he's going to be at least decently happy with that, but he still loses a bit of ground to his championship rivals. As we have updated points, Alex Bergeron currently leads with 640 points, David Heilemann in second with 566. That's a 2-race gap chase that David needs to see. He needs to hope that Alex not only has 1 bad race, but 2. And that, of course, isn't even counting James, who's just really not that much further back, only 6 points back behind David. But Alex, I think as long as he makes the feature next week, that's championship 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Unless he finishes, dead last and gets upside down or something. Bergeron tonight really solidified that championship here. So obviously it's not over. We still got 2 more races, and we've seen crazy things so far this season. And Bergeron could get wrecked in the next 2 races, and then who knows would win it, because we got 3 guys right there within 10, 12 or so points right there, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So anything can happen, and we really hope everybody joins us once again next week, Monday night at Charlotte. Man, it's gonna be good.
Charlotte is going to be an entertaining race for sure before we head up Knoxville, Iowa for the 2nd time this season to put a cap on this championship. But as things start to wind down, we have to always make sure to thank the sponsors that make it happen. Huge shout outs to the World of Outlaws and NOS Energy Drink for making this championship happen. Shout outs to everyone in the iRacing office as well as our partnership with Dirt Vision. Good luck to you guys on Twitter and everyone who tossed their hat into the ring to win a pair of pit passes. I hope you, whoever the lucky duo is, I hope you end up having a fantastic night of racing at the venue of your choice. Be sure to tune in next week for the 9th round of the World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Championship Series live from the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. This Saturday, we have the VRS Endurance Championship Series. They're hitting the racetrack at Imola, as well as with this being the month of May here on RaceSpot TV, we have the iRacing Indianapolis 500 coming at you at this Saturday as well. It'll be myself, Will Vincent, maybe even some Aaron Likens and Paul Jenkins bringing you the 500-mile race around the Brickyard. So thank you all for tuning in, and we hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.